Welcome to the property update of Hope Church of Richfield, Minnesota. My name is David Lenz, and I'm glad to welcome you all into this moment. There's a wonderful saying that says, "We don't know the future, but we know who holds the future. God does." And isn't that a relief? We don't have to worry about that or take responsibility for that. Even though we look through a mirror dimly, the future is crystal clear to God. God will show us that future. Yes, it is an interesting time to be undertaking a capital campaign. Yes, it is an interesting time to be pursuing a building project. One choice we could have made is to let the current circumstance stop us in our tracks. But we are making different choices. We are choosing to do two things. First, we're choosing to do all we can at the present time. So we have taken next steps with our architects. We have new drawings you're about to see. We are continuing to grow our capital fund in support of this exciting project. We are pursuing initial steps in civil engineering that will be submitted to the city of Richfield. Here's the bottom line. We are positioning ourselves to be ready when the way is clear. And here's the second thing that we are choosing to do. We are choosing to wait on the Lord, to wait patiently and to wait expectantly. We are waiting for God's good, perfect, and pleasing will to be revealed to us. We believe that God has good things ahead for Hope Church. You're about to see that in the presentation that now follows.
Welcome. I'm Kim Laufenberger, the Executive Minister at Hope Church, and I'm here with Heidi Johnson and Justin Bratnober, members of the Property Development Task Force. And we are excited to bring you an update on our progress in this new format. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Heidi Johnson.
Hello, Hope Church. This is Heidi Johnson speaking to you. I'm excited to show you some new plans for Hope's future renovation. So before I progress through these slides today, I need to preface this presentation by saying to you that these plans have grown out of our original concept. We have aimed to keep the same objectives as the original design, the same big design ideas, and the same feel to the building. But the design has evolved based on several things. First, we have scaled and redesigned the building to fit into our new financial reality. The building has been scaled to cost less than the first design. And second, we have taken into account a mountain of your congregational input, for which we are so thankful. Your feedback has helped us shape the new direction that these plans have taken. So as I walk through these plans, please keep in mind that they are still at a high level. They're at a schematic phase, as we call it. They don't have all the nitty-gritty details worked out yet. That comes next in the architectural drawing and civil engineering phase of this project. So we're going to start right here with a bird's eye view of Hope's property, showing you our existing buildings. So at the top of the slide, that's north, with Portland Avenue running up and down on the right side. And then on the left side over there, you're going to see 4th Avenue running up and down. And you can see the location of the current building there, the long object or at the top, and the school. So the next slide that we're going to show you is actually the same view There we go. The same view, but the gray shaded area that you're going to see is the part of the building to remain. And the yellow area shows the new construction that's up in the church part. And then the white that you see there is the existing building to be demolished. So by focusing your eyes just on the yellow and the gray where the church building is located, right there, yep, you can see how the new building is pulled back from the street to create a larger green space than we currently have. This is the same as the original design. And this plan uses our current driveway access, our entrance from Portland Avenue. The last design did not use that, but we're going to reuse that this time. So we're going to move on to the design. And we'll start with a floor plan. We're showing you the new plan here. I'm going to walk you through it in close-up sections, but first, before we go to those close-up sections, we're going to highlight just some of the main evolution that's happened in this plan before zooming in a bit. So that big white box there is the sanctuary. That area is to remain unchanged. That's why you see it in white. It's existing. The dark gray to the very bottom left there is the existing link. That's also going to stay unchanged right now. That's existing. And the white space, that little box off to the right up there is the Dixon Chapel. So you'll see that the parts that are shown in white and dark gray are the existing structure, and the colored stuff is new. So the green area shows the block of consolidated office space. If you remember, before it was located, its former location was on the south side of the building, and it's moved to the north, wrapping itself around the existing chapel. And the multi-purpose room, that beautiful space on the front of the building, has remained in its same general location. The front entry now has been rotated 45 degrees from the original design, so that it can still make a welcoming gesture to the neighborhood, as well as working with a drop-off driveway and the parking lot to the south. As you come in this entry, a person would have sweeping view of the church and be able to orient themselves to a welcome desk in the middle, the main office they could see from the front entry, the sanctuary they could see, the place where you're supposed to bring your children, and all of the primary meeting spaces, the chapel, multi-purpose room, cafe, fireplace, seating area, all those you could see from coming in the front doors. Now the kitchen and the cafe and the restrooms have been shifted to the south wall. They used to be located in a block in the center of the plan, and they're next to an enlarged nursery space. That's the blue that you see. By moving these to the south and taking them out of the middle of the plan, it's allowed us to draw that multi-purpose room in tighter to the rest of the building, reducing the sprawling square footage of the yellow space in the middle, which is the fellowship area. As you look at this plan, you may notice some big differences from the first iteration. First, the terraced outdoor area that was to the west of the sanctuary, sort of that walkout from the lower level that was terraced up, has been taken out. And the gym space and the space that was allocated to Vine and Branches has also been removed from the south side of the building. And I'll circle back and discuss that after we've walked you through this new plan. So we're going to move closer, and we're going to take a look first at the office area on the north side of the building. In the yellow there to the left, you're going to see a new entry with 2 sets of double doors that have been moved closer to the sanctuary from its present position in our church. And if we move over to the right, you can see that the office block has a large conference room right there, accessible from the hallway and from within the office block. There is a central reception area right next to it, which can, like we said before, be seen from the front entry. The office block contains 7 offices and 9 workstations and a collaborative work area, toilet, and storage. You can see a little prayer room next to the reception, and that little room can have many functions. It can be a conference room, a small classroom, just quiet space for small meetings, depending on the day and time of the week. That will really be multi-purpose. And then next to it, the white square there is the Dixon Chapel. And this beloved space will still be used as it is today for meetings and classes and small services. As in the first design, the storage cabinets and built-ins have been removed to allow for glass windows looking into the room. And we envision a small library collection being incorporated into this space. The stained glass windows we'd keep those, we'd retain those and creatively backlight them. Our architects assure us that this can be beautifully done. So we're going to move on to the next slide, which shows the multi-purpose room. This multi-purpose room, which it's so functionally called, I guess, which many of you thought needed to be made bigger, has been enlarged here. The storage space, which used to occupy a corner of this room, has been moved to the elevator block. And the stairway leading to the lower level, which used to be embedded inside this room, has been pulled to the south outside of the space. So the multi-purpose room shown here is just under 3,200 square feet. It's almost a 25% increase in size over the last plan. This would be able to hold 300 chairs or 27 tables, which would seat 216 people. We still envision that entry wall into this room being made of transparent movable panels or doors, that those doors could open up and so folks could spill out into the fellowship area on those occasions when there's a big crowd gathered. The kitchen and the cafe are nearby, so this room would be used for receptions, meetings, classes, conferences, and other such large gatherings. The fellowship space, which is that yellow area right in the center, has been reduced 20% in size from the previous plan, but it is more compact and more efficient than it was. The fireplace feature still remains a focus in the middle of the space there. It's right in the center by those gray storage rooms. And various groups of seating around this yellow area could be used to enable people to meet informally in this space as well. So in the next slide, we're going to move to the south side of the church. This is the side facing the current parking lot. And so just to orient you, the front doors are over to the right bottom corner there. And as you would enter and stand inside these doorways, if you were a visitor coming in trying to get your bearings, you would see the welcome desk right in front of you. You'd see the sanctuary, the corner of it with the windows looking in. Hopefully you'd see a lot of people fellowshipping throughout this area. You could see the restroom signs, and you could see the place where you were supposed to bring your children. So the line between the white area that you see to the left and the yellow area actually represents a difference in ceiling height. The white is the original structure. It has a lower ceiling, and the yellow is the new structure, and it has a new sloping and vaulted ceiling. And the difference in these ceiling heights creates a wall at that ceiling level, which is an excellent opportunity for some big bold signage above the children's check-in area. Off to the children's check-in area, you have an enlarged nursery. That's the blue, with a toilet and a sink inside. Next to it, to the right, are the restrooms. And then a little farther to the right, you see the kitchen and the cafe area. These are in a real welcoming location, and they're conveniently near areas where food might need to be served. So the elevator is up to the top. They're in the core block in the middle of the room, along with some large storage rooms. You'll notice in this drawing too that there are no windows cut into the south sanctuary wall as we had proposed before. We heard you on that one, Hope Church, and they've been taken out. You will notice in this drawing two staircases leading to the lower level. The existing open staircase that's kind of triangular shaped will lead to the children's area on the lower level. And that's where we're going to head now. So we're going downstairs to the lower level, and this plan has not changed significantly. You'll still see the big blue block to the left representing the children's area. And this includes 3 classrooms along the outside wall. These will be used for Hope's preschool and Hope's school-aged care program. There are 2 other large rooms to be used for youth and children on Sundays and during the week. The other blue block that you see on this plan over to the right side will be used as the choir room and for adult classes. And the supporting spaces on the lower level are the music storage room, 2 sets of restrooms, one for children and one for adults, and storage space, of course. Note the location of the 2 staircases here. There's one off to the bottom right corner, yep, and one off to the left bottom corner. And they have a visual connection to each other. So when you come down, you can orient yourself as to where you're going. As we move on to the next slide, you're going to see Hope's campus again. And from the very beginning, as our task force first wrestled with a vision for Hope's property, there was a common longing within our group for a community center for Richfield, a gathering place. And as we dug into that idea of creating a community center further, we just seemed to keep running into roadblocks. The city of Richfield thought they already had enough community centers, and a community center could not really generate income, which was a goal that we had for further development. And so the idea was tabled, even though the longing for such a place did not go away. When the dollar amounts from the capital campaign came in, it was clear that we had to cut some things out of the building in order to reduce its cost. A realization came over us as we creatively looked at things that we already had a functional gym. We had a commercial kitchen. We have lovely meeting rooms, and now a place to house Vine and Branches. So we are looking at creating, out of the north end of the school building, a ministry center or community center out of which Hope can do ministry. Young Life would continue to meet in this center using the gym and the social events rooms. Some of our ministry partnerships, which now require a commercial kitchen, could potentially be continued in this center of sorts. So the next slide that we go to is showing the proposed new location of Vine and Branches in what is now Hope's Youth Room. So to orient you, this is the link. Yep, it's right there. And the current location of social events room is kind of in that white and brown area there. And then over to the left is the Hope Youth Room. It's now shown in purple as Vine and Branches. So that youth room, the current size of it is just a little bit bigger than the current Vine and Branches store, almost the same. It would have its own outside entrance to the north, right there, with a sidewalk leading to the west parking lot. And the room just to the south of the youth room is a janitorial storage closet or room. And when measuring that room, it was discovered that it has the exact size and dimensions as the current Vine and Branches workroom. There's office space adjacent to this and ample basement storage. And it just seems like the perfect fit for Vine and Branches. We couldn't have planned it any better. And we are really extremely excited about the possibility of Vine and Branches being an anchor of Hope's ministry or community center. So these next images or renderings are what we're going to show you here, or what the building may look like from the exterior. And this first one here is a view from Portland Avenue, looking right at the building. And as you can see, the look and feel of the front of the building have changed little from our first go round. The multi-purpose room on the front of the building still has that sloping roof. It has that large cross right in the center, prominently anchoring the building. And you can see to the left the new entry to the building. And it has a sloping roof too, which slopes in the opposite direction, bringing kind of a sense of vibrancy or movement to this facade here. And the team is really excited about this look from the front. In the next image, right there, we have what it looks like entering the parking lot. And you can see in this picture that there's a drop-off entry right there in front of the entrance canopy. And off to the right of the front entry, there's a patio, outdoor patio area. And it's partially protected by the overhang from the roof over the multi-purpose room there. And that roof extension that you see sloping down also helps to control sunlight into the glass window areas on the south of the multi-purpose room. Doesn't that look nice? The next image is the last of the 3 exterior views that we have to show you. And here we are looking north from the parking lot at the south facade of the building. You can see the canopy, the entrance canopy sticking out at us right there. And the patio is off to the right of it. And there's a wall to the left. Right now it's rendered in white that can be used for big, bold signage. And this image also shows the symmetry of the sanctuary space. You can see it in the background there, and the multi-purpose room to the right. And yep, right up there. And the materials that are being shown in the building have not changed from the previous design at all. An attempt is going to be made to integrate the brick of the current building into a palette of new natural materials and glass. And we like what this looks like and hope that you do too. And I'm just going to show you two last images, and these are interior views. And they are really the same images that we showed you with the previous design. This part of the design hasn't changed at all. The first is a view from inside the new multi-purpose room looking east out those windows right out towards Portland Avenue. So you can see the sloping ceiling and the cross then in front that it's formed from the ceiling, or actually it's formed from the roof line that goes out to the south. And you can get a feeling of the space in here and the materials and the brightness of the space. And again, we envision this becoming a beacon of sorts to the neighborhood as they see the light coming from this space and the activity that's happening in this space. We're excited about this. And the last image that we're going to show you is the children's area on the lower level. And this area also has not changed in design. The windows and the doors on the left side of this hallway that you see go into those 3 classrooms. And you can see light coming through the hallway windows from the classrooms. And even though the terraced patio from the lower level has been taken out of the design, these large windows, well, there are still large windows in the lower level of each of the children's rooms, and those are to remain, to bring natural light in from the outside and just to bring a connection to each classroom to the outside world. We hope to have more of these interior images to show you in the near future. The architect's working on them so that you can get a feel as to what the inside of the new church might look like. So the task force is decided. We're super excited by this new design, and we're glad that we have the opportunity to share it with you today. And really, that's all I have to show you. And at this point, I'm going to pass things over to Justin Bratnober. Thank you.
Thanks, Heidi. Great job. Greetings, Hope Church and friends. I'm Justin Bratnober. It's my privilege to be serving you as chairman of the Property Development Task Force. In closing today, let me share just a couple more details about our project and where we go from here. First, the cost. The master plan Heidi just showed you amounts to $7 million. That includes demolition, reconstruction, short-term financing, furnishings, and equipment. So far, we have more than $4.2 million in pledges toward that amount. We've already received more than $1.5 million in cash gifts. Plus, we're beginning to receive new gifts in kind donated in the form of hours and resources toward the project that will defray our total cost. When you consider all that and the thousands of hours invested in this project, it's nothing short of remarkable. It just goes to show how incredibly generous the people of Hope Church are in time and resources. What is our plan going forward from here? While it might be counterintuitive given present circumstances, we're pressing onward to do all we can as the Lord enables us to. Right now, we're in the process of civil engineering and preparing to meet with the city of Richfield for permitting and approvals. Architectural for that. Before we make any commitments to start construction, we do need to cover 2 more bases. First, we need to collect another $600,000 toward a goal of at least $2.1 million in cash on hand to get underway. Second, we need to secure suitable financing for the project and put in place the mechanism to cover any debt we should take on. We'll share more particulars on that as we progress. Next slide. In the meantime, would you help us? We want to hear from you. Please reflect on this meeting. Maybe go back and view it again. Then email your comments and questions to property@hope-pc.org or call me at 651-247-3707. We'll gather your input over the next 2 weeks, then have another meeting to talk about it after the service on on Sunday, April 19th. Finally, would you pray for us in the work at hand? Also, please let us know if we may add you to our prayer team and pass regular prayer requests along to you. That's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in. We look forward to reconnecting in 2 weeks.